Hi folks, welcome to the last 2 weeks of the semester, week number 15 and 16. Way to go folks, it's been a busy semester and I know you all have worked hard this semester. So this is our last YouTube video and I just want to kind of go through the last final assignments for the semester. So as we look ahead here to week 15, you have one last chapter to read. We'll be reading chapter 12, which is all about communication climate. Communication climate is a wonderful chapter in that it kind of pulls together everything that we've learned through the semester and talks about how all those new interpersonal tools that you now have in your toolbox all come together to create a climate of a relationship. And I think you'll enjoy reading. There's some really good information in there on Dr. Gottman and his studies. You'll just find a lot of, I think, really interesting ways that they've pulled all this information. So it really is a great chapter to end the semester on. So for week number 15, which runs December 2nd through December 8th, you're going to be reading and studying over chapter 12, and then you're going to be completing quiz number 12 by Friday, December 6th. So yippee, our last quiz. I know you folks have been working hard on those with your vocabulary and your note-taking, so kind of exciting to finish all of those up. And then as we look ahead to week 16, which is our last week of our semester, you're going to be working on your final capstone project. Remember, there is no final exam in our class. There's just a film analysis assignment in place of a final exam. I went to a film analysis as a capstone project about 5-6 years ago instead of a multiple choice or whatever exam, simply because I thought it was kind of a more fun way for students to demonstrate their learning, and B, really, instead of just memorizing vocabulary and making sure you knew definitions, this way I really do get to see the depth of your ability to analyze and apply all the concepts that you've learned throughout the semester. So that final assignment is due on Friday, December 13th. Again, needs to be saved in Word and uploaded into the appropriate Dropbox. I really do want to encourage you to work early, start this week on this assignment, simply because it does involve you watching one of the 5 movies. And a lot of students will tell me, especially if they've not seen the movie before, that they do need to watch the movie twice. They watch it one time just to kind of just to enjoy the movie, to get a sense of the plot and the characters. And then a lot of my students will tell me they have to watch it a second time to go back and actually start to do the analysis and the application of the interpersonal theories and concepts. So do give yourself plenty of time to complete this. This is not an assignment that you want to start, 2-3 days before it's due. It literally takes, most students will tell me, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours just in preparation and writing. So do get an early start. Again, I'm happy to take a look at a rough draft, or even if you just get the first section done and you want me to take a peek, I'm happy to do that. You just need to send it to me or email it to me the Wednesday before it's due, so that I have time to give you feedback and get my comments back to you. So this is really an important one. It's worth 50 points out of, just over a little over 300 for the semester. So this one paper can move students almost 2 full letter grades if they do a good job, or even if you don't do this paper. It can drop you from an A to a C in this course. So it really is an important project for you to do your best work on. Also, there is an extra credit opportunity. There's a course survey that is due also on Friday, December 13th, and that is due in the Dropbox by 11:59. What you need to do, there are 5 questions that you need to respond to. You can click on the Dropbox assignment and it'll pull them up. I do also have the questions on our course homepage. But you need to answer those questions and then upload a document into the Dropbox for 10 extra credit points. I like to do an extra credit assignment toward the end of the semester simply because it gives students a chance who maybe missed a quiz or missed an assignment somewhere through the semester. It gives them an opportunity to earn back those lost points. But it also is a wonderful opportunity for me to get feedback on the course. I can't tell you folks how many times I use those feedback those feedback and comments from my students in making changes or adding things or whatever to my courses. So I really do appreciate that you take the time and that you're thoughtful in those course reflections. They really are helpful for me as an instructor. So that's it for our last 2 weeks. It's coming up very quickly. I know you all are busy. This is a busy time of the year as you've got finals and everything, and the papers and projects due in your other classes, as well as kind of getting ready to celebrate the holiday break with your family. So my biggest piece of advice I can give you is to work ahead. Don't procrastinate, put things off toward the end. It makes things so stressful. And I think it doesn't allow you to do your best work. So do work ahead, get an early jump on assignments as much as you possibly can. I do want to take a couple minutes. I'm going to switch our screen here, and I do want to talk about this final project that you're going to be doing for our class. This is the one that is due on December 13th and is worth 50 points. I call this a capstone project because it really does give you an opportunity to demonstrate your understanding and ability to apply all of the interpersonal concepts that you've learned throughout the semester. So there are a couple of steps to this. As I said earlier, it does involve you watching a video from this list here, and then your choices for this semester are The King's Speech, The Help, Lars and the Real Girl, Whip It, and Precious. All of these movies are available in the library. I don't think they have more than just 1 or 2 copies. So if you are hoping to get the copy from one of the HDC libraries, they're both on the Brooklyn Park and the Eden Prairie campus. I would encourage you to check them out early because just this semester I have over 120 interpersonal students who are using those same 5 movies. Not to mention the other, Janessa Gerling and Carrie Norling, who are both communication instructors too. They're also using a lot of these same films in their classes too. So if you aren't able to get these from the library, they are all available on Netflix. A lot of them are available in your own community library as well. So there's lots of options for having access to these films. But again, you don't want to wait until the last possible moment to see if you can locate the film and do your paper. So that's the first step. And again, I do recommend, if you haven't seen the film, to watch it once just to enjoy it and just to kind of get a sense of the plot line and the characters. And then most students will tell me as they move on to step number 2, as they actually start to do the writing of the paper, that they do need to watch the film again just to be able to apply, to choose examples and then to choose concepts to do their analysis. So your final project will be a 4 to 5 page double-spaced paper that includes a minimum of 1 concept from each of these 6 areas. So 1 concept from relationships, 1 from perception, 1 from nonverbal, 1 from language, 1 from listening, and 1 from communication competence. So that's the kind of the base requirement, is that you at least have 1 concept. Make sure that as you are applying these concepts that you, and I have a little note down here, that you highlight the concept, the definition, and the page number or chapter section number in bold or in a different color, or you can italics it, but in some way make sure that each of those concepts are highlighted in your paper. As you're writing your paper, there is no need to provide a film or plot summary. I've watched all of these films multiple times and I'm very, very familiar with the plot line. So you don't need to do a full plot description. And I just want to give you just a little bit of a note of warning here. Sometimes students will, even though I say you don't need to do that, they will do that. And they will go out to, International Movie Database, imdb.com, or somewhere else on the internet and pull a plot summary out and include that in your paper. Remember, if you do that, folks, A, you don't need to, but B, if you do, make sure that you cite that. If you take any information that you gained about these films that didn't come from your own head, remember that you do have to cite where you got that information from. If you don't, that's plagiarism. So sometimes students will, include information that they read in a review online, or like I said, a plot summary that they got from online. If you do that, you must cite, using full APA formation, you must cite where you got that information from. Now, as you're writing, please make sure to follow the guidelines for college level writing. Make sure that you have an opening paragraph that has a thesis statement. Make sure that you are writing in full paragraphs with transitions between your paragraphs. Again, make sure that you have an introductory and closing paragraphs. And if you're not sure how to do this, if this is one of your first times doing an actual college level writing paper, don't stress. Make sure that you go to the Writing Center or the Learning Resource Center on either campus. They will help you making sure that you have a thesis statement and transitions and introductory and closing paragraphs. For each of the concepts, make sure that you analyze examples from the film. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, well, in this scene, this is a great example of, for example, of proxemics, which is an example of nonverbal communication. Our textbook defines proxemics on page 59 as, whatever, whatever, whatever. And that's great. That's where you're taking the example and you're applying it. You're saying this concept is related. But now remember, you have to go one step further and explain how you believe the concept of proxemics is related to this particular example. So I kind of go through the three-step process here. Identify an example from the film, briefly describe the scene, cite a text example that relates to this example, making sure to include the text definition and page number or chapter section number, and then analyze that film example. This is where you demonstrate your understanding of the concept and how it relates to the example. I want to read your own thoughts and insights on how this concept, this text concept, relates to this film example. And again, make sure that you highlight the related course concept, definition, and page number in some way. You can do it in a different color, you can do it in italics, you can do it in bold, but each of those course concepts need to be highlighted in some way. Okay, so if you are looking for an A, which is going to be that 45 to 50 points, you need to have 10 to 12 clearly referenced examples from the film, and then you need to analyze those film examples with 10 to 12 concepts from our textbook, making sure that at least one concept from each of these 6 areas up here, relationship, perception, nonverbal language, listening, and competence. So if you're applying 12 concepts, making sure that you have one from each of these 6 areas, then the other 6, if you're going to do 12, can be from any of those areas, but you do have to have at least one concept from each of those 6 areas. Making sure you have definitions and page numbers, and then I'm looking for an analysis that fully demonstrates your understanding and ability to apply course knowledge. And that's this piece up here. Analyze the film examples and demonstrate your understanding of the concepts and how they relate, including your own insights and thoughts. Again, making sure that you have no grammar or mechanical errors. When I'm looking at your paper, sometimes I'm reading papers that content-wise and analysis-wise are A papers, but there's so many spelling or mechanical or grammar errors that literally it can drop your paper grade, 1 full letter grade, even sometimes 2 full letter grades. So really make sure, again, that you're taking enough time and that you're preparing enough that you have the time to go back and do your spell check and your grammar check. So, and then you'll see the full grading rubric is here as far as what's an A, what's a B, what's a C, what's a D. So you'll see all of those there. So that's our final paper that we are working on, our final capstone paper. Again, here are your film choices that you're going to be watching. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, folks. If you're wondering about something and you're not sure, if you get the first section written and you want to send that to me, I'm happy to take a peek and give you feedback. So do your best work as we head into the home stretch here of our last 2 weeks. Again, make sure that you don't procrastinate. Give yourself plenty of time to do good work.